Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Oh man, so we're not promising anything. I did extend the invite to FD Signifier. I did not get a response, and that's okay. If y'all checked out what the brother said, you know, that's about as good as we gonna get. Right? That's about as good as we are going to get from cornbread tube, right? So we heard what's going on, Louis. Red Pill Sleeper Cell. Louis hit me up. I think Azrael hit me up also. Yes, Mr. Z. Mr. Z checked it out before y'all sent it to me, right? But thank you anyway, and definitely if y'all ever think it is urgent or Z, did you see this? Did you see this? Right? So definitely send it to me. And I will get to it as soon as I can. We are in transit, so I will be, for a couple minutes, we're not going to be able to click all our buttons and whatnot. But what we will start off with is once again saying this is about as good as we're gonna get from Cornbread Tube, which is foreign man in a foreign land describing exactly what we say here. And FD Signifier describing, well, exactly what we say here. And going to that, I want to say this to FD. This.
Men and Masculinity.
Yeah.
So
this is a new book, right?
This is what I'm writing about in my book. And as the sister of two brothers and the mother of two sons, particularly as the mother of two sons, I think about this a lot. And this goes exactly to truth and lies, because as feminist women, we want to be equal. But if you say to us, yeah, but you know what, male CEOs have full-time caregivers at home. Find me a male CEO who has a family, who has a wife or a partner, who is not the lead caregiver. I defy you to find me that person. So then you say to the same women, so if we want to be CEOs, yes, we're superhuman and all that stuff, but you know what? Actually, you can't really expect us to do 24/7 jobs any differently than the guys do. So if we're going to be there and we're going to be in those top positions, we need a lead caregiver at home, as I have. My husband obviously has a full-time job, that's great, but he's the lead parent, because I could not be the lead breadwinner if he were not the lead parent. I simply couldn't. Somebody's got to be home. I mean, even at 15 and 7, actually, particularly at 15 and 17, somebody has to be home.
Yeah, right.
As we discovered, we saw the doll's house last night. We came home. Our 15-year-olds had been home alone. Somebody ought to be home. So
the place was trash.
a bit. Pizza boxes. We won't go there. So then you say, okay, so you want to be the CEO or the president of the university or the surgeon or the scientist, whatever. You've got to marry somebody who is willing to support you in the homework, the family work, in the way he's going to support you. Believe me, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do without him, but that's probably what you're going to have to do. And maybe you'll trade off, but he's going to have to do that part of the time. And at that point, many women get off the bus. They don't want to marry a guy like that. They don't think a guy like that is masculine. Indeed, the guys who do that, I know I'm in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is the home of,
Message.
A lot of all this. There are more stay-at-home dads here than probably anywhere else in the U.S., or work-from-home dads, or lead caregiver dads, or however you want to put it. But in most places in the U.S., those dads report that the women they engage with on the on the playground think they're a little odd. Do not think of them as a model of masculinity. We can't have it both ways, right? Just as
Right.
I was told growing up, don't be too smart. You don't be too smart around a guy. He won't want you. Well, right, that vision of femininity had to change. It had to change. Guys had to think that women who are powerful and smart and competitive were attractive, because otherwise we couldn't do it. Well, you know what? We have to think that a guy who puts his family first, that a guy who says, no, I want to be the lead parent. I'm going to defer a promotion. I'm not going to be the most powerful guy out there. We have to say, you are a masculine, valued, wonderful man. And if we can't get there, we are not going to make this kind of change, because we've gotten as far as we can get without doing that. We've got 15% of unbelievable super women who get really lucky, right, or who have a lot of money, or who are just really superhuman, who manage to make it work, but we're not going to get further than that. So it's really about changing the way we think about it. It's not only, but a lot of it is about changing how we think about men and what we think a masculine, attractive guy is.
That's the question for the coming generation, as it were.
Yep.
That's going to, okay.
If you thought marrying for money was like an issue, wait till we look at the next few years, baby. That student loan They real serious, ain't they? They haven't been saying they're going to report it to the credit bureaus, but now they are. And now people's payments are going way up. I just submitted my forbearance again. Hopefully they say yes, because where's the money going to come from? And it's wild that they are literally about to start garnishing people's checks. Like, that's crazy. And you still expect me to talk to you without you sending me money first? Have you seen the price of eggs? Have you seen the price of groceries? Exactly, Salem, tell him. He's telling me to hurry up with his food, but hold on. You know, people used to literally look at me like I was crazy when I said that, like, love will never be enough for me. You are going to have money as well. Like, you need to fit all of my criteria and have enough money for savings and retirement and disposable income. Like, to be honest with you, I don't see the point of marriage if you're not making my life any better. There's no point to me, because everything you can get in a marriage, you can get outside of it. Prove me wrong. What can you not get inside of a marriage you can't get outside of marriage? Exactly. And technically true, I can still get money outside of marriage, but that's just that's my main big one that I will never, ever, ever, ever compromise on. People have been like, Destiny, no, you should stop. You're not gonna find anyone. Okay, well, great. Then I guess I don't ever find nobody, and I will be by myself. And I have to force now my 2 babies to make money for me. Maybe I start a little pet account. That might be cute. Yeah, but no. And you think I'm ever gonna change my purposes now? They're literally at my door asking for these bills that I don't have. You think I'm gonna date you and you make less than me? Goodbye. No, you got the wrong one. Wrong one. Try again.
I really want to make something clear to some of you women with low self-esteem. Just because you don't have any standards for your man and you're willing to take the scraps and the crumbs that society offers you, that doesn't have to be the same for me or anybody else like me. This person says, I honestly was trying to root for you because, whatever, but your attitude makes you really ugly and all these standards you have is unreal. It's 2023. My attitude isn't ugly. I just have a high self-esteem and a high confidence level that you will never have because you're putting down women with confidence. And I just feel like if you really think about what you're saying and what men have lied to you for years saying, you would really understand that, like, what I'm doing is bare minimum, like literally bare minimum. Wanting my husband to be a provider is bare minimum. Honestly, that's really his job. But my thing is, like, why has the bar been in hell?
Why are so many women settling? I mean, smart women, beautiful women, educated women settling for less than they deserve. Why are they wasting time or even giving the time of day to people who are not even going to meet their standards? Let me know in the comments.
Said if you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
So if you're making $50,000, don't date.
What?
I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Again, I'm with you when
you're not ready to date. You're not ready to date because courtship costs.
Okay.
Everything costs. Okay. You can go for 22 walks in the park. Eventually, shorty is gonna need a sip of something. She gonna be thirsty. This bottle of water is $3 in Atlanta. Let's not play. So if you don't have any expendable cash, don't date. And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make $50,000, but you live in a shoe. And now you got expendable cash. Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money. If she doesn't have the expectation, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually you're gonna wanna run. Because she doesn't stretch you. She doesn't make you the man that you need to become. She allows you to be this stagnant dude in the same jeans for days. You know what I'm saying?
Be cutting up.
I'm
you
just
talk about.
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
And to sum up everything, brother FD, if you out there listening, why they can, and you said, some of these folks just hate black men. Yes, it's some of that too. But to sum up why they were jabbing at black men, because of this black men not attending HBCUs in specific, but college in general at the rates of black women. To sum up everything, here you go.
What top tier? Your dick is not equal to my fucking pussy. Point blank
His
period.
dick ain't equal to your fucking bills neither.
God damn.
Look, at the end of the day, I ain't
Them
fucking no
bills got
broke
your
ass
them
nigga.
bills got your name on it. They don't have his dick name on it.
At the end of the day, I ain't fucking no broke ass nigga. Do what you want with your
Yeah,
pussy,
you
but this
don't have to
pussy
fuck
got a
no
price
broke ass
tag
That's
on
the
nigga.
it.
framing.
Straight up.
That's the
Look,
framing.
You can fuck a nigga that ain't broke. That's not a problem. But just because he ain't paying your bills, don't mean he fucking broke. That mean it ain't his goddamn responsibility. Your bills got your name on it. It don't have his
But
dick name on it.
okay, you're right. I land my plane.
You see how that mouth tighten up right there? That's when that.
Hmm? To sum it up, FD, I said it to you the second conversation. Patriarchy by feminist specifications. Brother, I didn't just pull that out of nowhere. Every clip I showed you was the black women, but it's not just black women saying, look, I need a paymaster. Screw all that. Every clip I played were women telling you, look, you better earn more than me. You better have the status. Anne Marie Slaughter told you straight up. If you don't know who Anne Marie Slaughter is, she used to work for the Clintons, the Clinton campaign. She worked for the Clintons back in the 90s. She's telling you. She said Brooklyn give the lie to this. Translation, and she said we got about 15% of women who actually are kick-ass and they're essentially superwoman and they're the ones who are comfortable with earning more than their man and they don't feel there's no qualms about that. Everyone else, the women have an issue with it. That's why the women care about men going to college. It's the status and the money. It's the status and the money. Every clip I played, the women were the light-skinned young lady. Let's play it again. She said, "If I earn more than you, I will belittle you." That's what she said. FD, Mr. Z ain't pulling this out of nowhere. Play it again, Z.
That if you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Huh? If I earn more than you and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. She just had the ovaries to say it. You know how many women, black women in specific, concerning black men, they think and feel this way? That's why they were jabbing about the college enrollment of black men and the college graduation of black men. What they're saying is that y'all are, in their minds, this society is forcing them to quote unquote settle. That's why I kept on playing the clips of black women saying, we're not settling. FD, that's okay, but y'all have to be honest with the ladies. Look, ladies, we are trying to refashion this society for men to be quote unquote okay with being in egalitarian relationships with y'all, even though it's not what's really going on. But okay, fine. Once again, as Anne Marie Slaughter said, it's the women. When you tell the women what's going to come along with them being kick-ass in their careers, they get off the train. When you tell them, oh, by the way, you're going to have to be with a man that may earn less than you, they get off the train. That's what Anne Marie Slaughter said. She's not the only one. So FD, you and Kimberly Foster, y'all are right. The men are not trying to sign up for egalitarian relationships because we have decades that the women don't mean it. Anne-Marie Slaughter's told you 15% of women, 15%. That's the outliers. Once again, Kimberly Nicole Foster, you are an outlier. You and your fellow Harvard grads and Ivy League graduate women are outliers, and that's for the ones that are okay with earning more than their man. Y'all are outliers doing way too much talking. Huh? Outliers doing way too much talking. FD, you are right. The young men are not signing up for egalitarian because they watch their fathers and their older uncles get ripped to shreds by women they thought they were in egalitarian relationships with. Huh? During the marriage and during that divorce proceeding, during that divorce. Huh? You're right, dear Kimberly Nicole Foster, dear any other black woman or black man. particularly those of you that are part of any cornbread tube. Yeah, you're right. The men are not signing up because black men watch black women lie about it. Black women ain't looking for no goddamn egalitarian. I described it perfectly, used the term. They're looking for patriarchy by feminist specifications. I did not pull that out of nowhere. That is the term. That is what women writ large, not just black women, are looking for. These newfangles, these modern women, because the second you tell them what comes with equality or equity in relationship, and you tell them you may not get the paymaster, man, you might have to go 50-50 for real financially, or you might have to go 60-40. They say, absolutely not. I ain't doing it. And they'll come up with, oh, well, I'm the one who's going to give birth, and I'm going to be the one who cleans up the house more, and I'm going to be the one emotional labor, and they're going to come up with all type of excuses. Translation, to be frank, they're saying no. To be in my presence costs money. That's why I played the lady saying, if you earn less than 50, don't date. If you think it's really just about college, you got another thing coming. The women are saying, I didn't sign up for 40 and 50 and 20 and 30 and 60 and 80 and 100 and 200 and $300,000 in student loan debt, $450,000 in student loan debt, 520 some odd. I'm not making these numbers up, by the way. 500 and some odd $1,000 in student loan debt for a man who's going to earn less than me. That's what the women are saying. It's not just about college. It's not about men not attending college. Huh? The ladies are saying, I didn't sign up for 40 and $50,000 and 100 and 200 and 300 and $400,000 and $500,000 in student loan debt for y'all to tell me I'm gonna marry the dude that's earning 80 or 70 or 60 or 50. That I'm gonna end up with the dude that's earning less than me. The women said I ain't doing it. That's what their whole gripe about college is about. That's what black women's gripe about black men not attending college is about. If he attended college, he might make more, and maybe he'll help me with this student loan debt or pay it off. Thank you, Demetrius. It's about classism. Huh? So I see Foreign addressed it. Foreign said it accurately on waving the red flag. The women, many of the women engaging in this, black women in our case, engaging in this conversation, they're really saying, I can't be her, the white woman, because you ain't him, the white man. And it just doesn't work the other way around. Black men are not levying that same thing on white women. The way we are, quote unquote, supposed to perform as men is different than the way women are, quote unquote, supposed to perform. It doesn't work the same way, and that's why black men are not levying the same accusation at black women. Black men are not levying the same accusation. It's not the same. So for anyone that tries to do well, look, the black men, it's not the same, and you know it. Huh? That's the problem. It's not about college. It's about status. It's about money. It's about potential money. And be very clear, Kimberly Nicole Foster bought that up. Well, it's the men. You see, when you look at the data, it's the men are the ones that are the men are the ones that are holding up the black community financially. It's the men. The gap is between white men and black men. Instead, and FD, you said that all of these folks had a nuanced take, and you mentioned Kimberly Nicole Foster name in there. Whoa, nuanced. So she wasn't jabbing and making fun of black men the whole time? Brother, you might want to watch it again. If you didn't watch it, you might want to watch it. If you watched it, you might want to watch it again. She wasn't jabbing and mocking and making fun of black men. You might want to watch it again. Nuanced take. Oh boy. Are you sure about that? Huh? Let the white man ask you.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Huh? It's about status, brother. Them sisters don't care about no college-educated black man. If he ain't balling out of control, they don't care about no college-educated black man making $32,000 and $35,000 a year, bro. It's not about education. It's not about knowledge. It's about status. It's about potential income. That's what it's about. It's about money. You bought up the hate. Okay, cool. Yes, you are right. They're gonna see you and they're gonna try to do some type of, is FD turning red pill or manosphere? Because you weren't defecating at least the whole time on black men. You damn right. And all this proves from what you were saying and what Foreign said on waving the red flag is that y'all know and y'all been knowing. I said it to you. I said that to you the first conversation. Once y'all start showing, or once black women and women writ large start seeing what egalitarianism really look like, oh, they're gonna be throwing a fit, and they are. And y'all not gonna say nothing. Y'all are never gonna tell them, hey, this is what come with egalitarian. How do you expect a quote unquote equal society and the men still automatically make more? How the hell? The men are your man is supposed to make more, but men are not supposed to necessarily make more. How in the hell is the math supposed to math? Y'all are not saying that to the ladies, and they throwing a fit because they feel it. No pun. They feel it, but no one's describing to them, hey, this is what comes with it. You like, what's y'all thought? And maybe in college and universities, it may be a more feminized space. It may be. That's what Dr. Richard Reeves is saying. In his own way, we had the women shackled in a certain way when it came to education, and the second we took the shackles off, they blew past the men. Do I agree with the framing? No. But okay, fine. If we go with the framing, for argument's sake, then that means the space is conducive for the way XX chromosome learns. And we put the thumb on the scale for them over the past few decades. Okay, then, ladies, eat that. What that means is you don't necessarily get men, for heterosexual women at least, you don't necessarily get men that earn more than you. Now, still to this day, men earn more than women, including in the black community. Black men earn more than black women. But I should have clipped that too. But as the young lady said, many of us saw it before. Media Man plays it often. As the young lady said, yeah, black men earn more, but not enough more. And there you go, brother. It's really not about college and university, and I think you know that. Foreign expressed that he knows that. It's about status, bro. It's about classism. It's about money. Huh? Good song. And Trell says the lifestyle of the rich and shameless, right? And the song just popped up. That was a heavy ass bass song. That song had a love. That was, yeah. Good song. Good song choice. Right? Wow. So, brother FD, I just wanted to emphasize that if you are listening, if you're not, okay, but if you're listening, that's what it's really about. And I played the clips I played to emphasize that, right? And let's play Anne Marie Slaughter one more again, because there's no better way that she said it, right? We gonna play this. And Z, did you actually clip out FD? Yes, I did. And we gonna play that in a minute too. Seeing that he's not gonna get come up, but y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And we gonna play this. We're gonna read the super chats, and then we'll get to it. Here you go. Here you guys go.
Men and masculinity.
Yeah.
So
this is a new book, right?
This is what I'm writing about in my book, and as the sister of two brothers and the mother of two sons, particularly as the mother of two sons, I think about this a lot. And this goes exactly to truth and lies, because as feminist women, we want to be equal, But if you say to us, yeah, but you know what, male CEOs have full-time caregivers at home. Find me a male CEO who has a family, who has a wife or a partner, who is not the lead caregiver. I defy you to find me that person. So then you say to the same women, so if we want to be CEOs, yes, we're superhuman and all that stuff, but you know what? Actually, you can't really expect us to do 24/7 jobs any differently than the guys do. So if we're going to be there and we're going to be in those top positions, we need a lead caregiver at home, as I have. I mean, my husband obviously has a full-time job, that's great, but he's the lead parent because I could not be the lead breadwinner if he were not the lead parent. I simply couldn't. Somebody's got to be home. I mean, even at 15 and 7, actually, particularly at 15 and 17, somebody has to be home.
Yeah, right.
As we discovered, we saw the doll's house last night. We came home. Our 15-year-olds had been home alone. Somebody ought to be home. So
The place was trash.
it's a bit. Pizza boxes. We won't go there. So then you say, okay, so you want to be the CEO or the president of the university or the surgeon or the scientist, whatever. You've got to marry somebody who is willing to support you in the homework, the family work, in the way he's going to support you. Believe me, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do without him, but that's probably what you're going to have to do. And maybe you'll trade off, but he's going to have to do that part of the time. And at that point, many women get off the bus. They don't want to marry a guy like that. They don't think a guy like that is masculine. Indeed, the guys who do that, I know I'm in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is the home of, Brooklyn gives the lie to all this. There are more stay-at-home dads here than probably anywhere else in the U.S., or work-from-home dads, or lead caregiver dads, or however you want to put it. But in most places in the U.S., those dads report that the women they engage with on the on the playground think they're a little odd. Do not think of them as a model of masculinity. We can't have
message,
right? Just as
right.
I was told growing up,
message.
Don't be too smart. You don't be too smart around a guy. He won't want you. Well, right, that vision of femininity had to change. It had to change. Guys had to think that women who are powerful and smart and competitive were attractive, because otherwise we couldn't do it. Well, you know what? We have to think that a guy who puts his family first, that a guy who says, no, I want to be the lead parent. I'm going to defer a promotion. I'm not going to be the most powerful guy out there. We have to say, you are a masculine, valued, wonderful man. And if we can't get there, we are not going to make this kind of change, because we've gotten as far as we can get without doing that. We've got 15% of unbelievable super women who get really lucky, right, or who have a lot of money, or who are just really superhuman, who manage to make it work, but we're not going to get further than that. So it's really about changing the way we think about it. It's not only, but a lot of it is about changing how we think about men and what we think a masculine, attractive guy is.
That's the question for the coming generation, as it were.
Yep.
That's going to, okay.
Brother, FD, I've often said, dear women, we don't owe you being kick-ass for you. Right? We don't owe you college degree men. Black men in specific, with how antagonistic and how aggressive and mean, particularly black women online, but even offline in the real world when black men are touching grass, how anti-black men, black women have been over the past few decades. We don't owe your daughters making our sons kick ass for them and college degreed up for them. We don't owe them that. Is that sustainable? No. Is that going to harm the black community? Yeah, probably. But be very clear, as Anne-Marie Slaughter said here, it's the women who don't see that as masculine. Y'all have reached the market cap of moving the men. The men are not moving an inch, particularly black men are not moving an inch, because the women don't mean that egalitarian crap. They don't mean it. And that's why you see such a knee-jerk reaction from, well, men like Z. The women don't mean it. Huh? That's why they sound like this.
But my thing is, like, I don't understand the obsession with trying to make black women settle so much. Y'all don't do this with any other community. Like, seriously. Y'all don't do this with any other community. Do y'all tell white women that they should settle? Because last time I checked, anytime a white girl marries a black man, it's always when he's at his best and when he's rich as hell.
That's not true.
You think Kim Kardashian
Not
was
true.
gonna marry Kanye while he was broke and didn't have any money? You think Kanye would have had a chance with Kim then? Or you think Kanye had a chance with Kim when he was a multi-million-dollar rapper? Let's be real. Like, y'all don't say this to any other group but us. We're tired of settling. We're tired.
And if you saw that little caption at the top, it said, she ate Tyler Perry up. I don't know if that's what you wanted to say, and I don't know if you wanted to say that about Tyler Perry, of all people. We're going to leave that one alone. The joke's right itself. I got like 3-4 jokes just off of saying that. Okay, leave it alone, Z. Continuing. With that, you heard the lady in the background, right? That's the sentiment, FD. It's not about college. It's not specifically about the hatred of black men. It's that you have a bunch of, because y'all been blowing smoke up black women's rear end for the past few decades, forever. They feel like they're settling. Who tells black women, hey, you know black men earn more than black women, right? You know, above $50,000 a year, more black men make more than black women. There's more black men in every income bracket above $50,000 a year. So who are y'all settling for exactly? No one says that to black women. And then you and foreign got to come out here and play y'all little damage control when black women are out here and y'all realize what they're doing. They're using the college conversation to beat up on black men because they use every conversation to beat up on black men because nobody's been checking black women up. And even you said it, FD, on our second conversation when we spoke about Kevin Samuels. Was it the second one or the first one? Mr. Z forgets. Well, no, it's not that it's just other men were trying, but they couldn't do what Kevin did. Okay, fine. That means for at least a couple decades, black women were able to have the predominant voice in the discourse about black men and black women. They definitely had the backing of mainstream society. That means white. And so for a few decades, they didn't really get any mainstream pushback about feeling like they're the ones that always have to settle, as that young lady just said. And now we're here. And now what they feel like they're being told is to settle for black men who are not college educated. This is where you get the swirlers and divestors. The black women in luxury, the black women level up, the average black woman. And as y'all heard from so many black women, they said, oh, no, screw it. If I have to settle, quote unquote, settle for these guys, I'd rather be single. Now, let's slow down. If Kimberly Nicole Foster, if we are to grant her that the gap is really between black men and white men, because black men aren't attending college in enough number. Okay, cool. And what I would forward to her is black men still earn more than black women. And we understand how beneficial family is to the black community and to communities writ large. And so we have a whole lot of petulant child, temper tantrum throwing ass black women who said, I can't marry you because, number one, you may not earn enough, and enough is even more than what you earn, which is more than what I earn, but still it's not enough. Okay, cool. And because you're not college educated and I am. How in the hell is this supposed to work? Huh? Wow. Wow. FD, appreciate it. I know this is about as far as you could go in Black Bread Tube. The FD touched that line right there. FD touched that line right there. That's about as far as they're gonna let him go before they start before the pitchforks come out and they start calling him Black Manosphere. Huh? But brother, even your framing was still a little off, just a smidge. It was still off. Huh? And we're gonna play a little bit of this. I don't know if I'm gonna play the whole thing. We're gonna play a little bit of what he said. But before we do that, let's shout out Southern Purchase. What's going on, Southern Purchase? And Southern Purchase says, and thank you for the super chat. High school grad, class of 25, hold a $150,000 share. Right? I'm a little lost on the comment. I'm a little lost on the comment. High school grad, class of 25, not college grad, but high school grad, hold a $150,000 share. Are you saying you're earning that much? If you're earning that much, goddamn, looking good, right? But you said high school grad, not college grad. I'm a little lost. Southern Purchase. Need clarification. Need clarification. And thank you for that super chat. And let's read this first one of yours. And Southern Purchase says, and thank you for the super chat once again. And he says, I had to turn in an econ report that showed it took the U.S. 200 years to reach 12 trillion in debt. We just did 12 trillion in 4 years after COVID. Every child born in 2025 is born with 95. Okay, I think, okay, so maybe you made a correction. Is born with $95,000 of U.S. debt. It's over. And so I think so. The second comment was a correction. So the high school grad of 2025 is $150,000 share. I think that's what you're saying. I'm a little lost. Maybe not. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And Mike says more black men above $100,000 a year, more black men over $250,000 a year, more black men over $1 million, and more black men over $1 billion. I know, but it's not about fact. It's about narrative. Shout out to Nema. I remixed it a little bit. I threw that off. But yeah, it's not about what's factually accurate. It's about the way black women feel, and it's about the narrative. And no one, especially not other black women, but no one pushes back on black women and say, you do know black men still earn more than black women. You do know there's more black men over $50,000 a year than black women in every single income bracket over 50. You do know that, right? No one says that to black women. No one says that black men don't only earn more than black women, black men have more wealth than black women. So everyone has left black women out there to quote unquote feel like they're settling. Right? So with that, we're gonna play a little bit of this, and I ain't gonna keep y'all too long tonight. Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Let's put up our little like, share, subscribe thingamajigger. Here we go. Right? And with that, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. And we're gonna play a little bit of this, and this is FD speaking on it. And I appreciate it, as I know that this is about as far as he could go. Right? This is about as far he can't go no further than this. Right? And I get it. And what Foreign said on waving the red flag, that's about as far as he could go. I get it. Y'all signed up for that though. Right? And as Indigo said, I read the comment. Indigo, it's already lost in the sauce. It's too far up. But as Indigo said, he gonna be a man without a country soon enough. Let me see. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can find it. Let me do Indigo solid. Wait a minute. There we go. Boom. Find it. No problem. Look, Mr. Z, when you're not trying to be lazy. And Indigo says, man without a country, it's coming. I've been saying it. I remember. And you remember I said that to him the first conversation. Right? Right? And so once again, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. And we're going to play this. And shout out to FD Signifier. And here we go.
So somehow when I went on vacation, black men aren't going to college trended. And I can't help but feel similar to how I did when I was a teacher and I had to take a day off, and when I came back, it seemed like the internet didn't know how to act, but that's expected. And I also want to say before I start ranting, because this one will get ranty, shout out to people like Marquise Devon and Professor Odie. Even I think Kim Foster stuck her neck out with her audience to have a nuanced discussion about this. Olay also dropped a podcast with a bunch of people about this.
Nuanced? Kim Foster?
Really
I don't know about that one.
Into the greater black progressive commentary space, and you kind of already know that this is a BS culture war discussion. That said, I do have some thoughts. So if you're new to the topic or the issue or this whatever, the conversation about what's wrong with black men is one that comes up a lot. In particular, this all started from a New York Times article that brought up how specifically black male college enrollment is down at HBCUs, which is an important thing to point out for a few reasons. Most significantly is that this went from a specific discussion about HBCU enrollment, which is a small fraction of all college students in general, into a broader discussion about black men specifically in all colleges. And that should be enough to show you the real core reason why this became a trending topic, which is it gave an excuse for people to talk bad about black men online. A lot of y'all motherfuckers hate black men. You do. And you love to talk about us regardless of the situation, unless it's something really, really good. And even then, some of y'all, I'll be seeing y'all, it's only to talk bad about how the good thing we're doing isn't as good as it seems. And I think
and when he said that, the first thing, and it might have just popped in your mind too, the first thing that popped into Z's mind is the pictures that y'all would see a few years ago where all them brothers would gather wherever, in whatever city, and they would be walking around with their suits and their blazers and their skinny ties and their nice slacks and their nice dress shoes. And it was just a bunch of black men dressing nice to show the world, look, we don't only wear streetwear and hip-hop wear. Once again, not saying anything is wrong with that, right? In baggy jeans or super, super skinny jeans, right? We can also dress nice also, and we know how to wear nice fitted suits and you know, and having them nicely tapered and whatnot, and our ties and our nice button up, and you know, we have our laser straight tape lines, and for those of us that are follically channels like Z, we have our laser straight, you know, beards, right? Our beards are taped real nice. And if y'all recall, black women were putting out think pieces, mocking and making fun. Yeah, FD, yeah, so you saw it too. Brother, you can't say the black men are doing the same, not even the black manosphere. You cannot say black men are scouring the internet, and every time there's a moment to celebrate black women or black women are doing something great, we like, she ain't all that. She ain't all that. Where are the black men doing that, including even in the black manosphere? Huh? Oh man. I see y'all comments. I see y'all comments, Jake. I see him. I see him. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Right. So in other words, FD sees it too. I said it. They're not dumb. I think Forden got 2 master's degrees, something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I think FD might be sitting on 2 master's degrees too, and he was working on his PhD until YouTube blew up for him. They're not dumb. They're not. Kim Foster's not dumb. She's just bitter. Olay's not dumb. She's a goddamn attorney in New York, of all places. If I'm not mistaken, right? Or lawyer, better yet, in New York, of all places. They're not dumb. Huh? Josh, Alvin, Eddie, they're not dumb. They chose a side. And when that side acts up, it's their job to try to minimize it and explain it and quote unquote contextualize it. Huh? Continuing.
And I think this is so insidious because as I say this, I know there are certain people whose antenna are going up because this does sound a little bit like black manosphere talk, because this is something that they will say all the time, broken clock and all that. However, if you know me and you,
it's not broken clock. We're not right just 2 times a day. Cut it out, FD. Cut it out, bro. You know we damn super right, and you're finding that out more and more. It's not like you didn't know already. The women are just becoming so much more blatant. Y'all realize y'all are telling the youngest of Xers, well, they're pretty much the women are aged out the gate. But y'all are telling millennials and Gen Z what y'all are saying it without saying it. They're realizing it more and more that this is what it is, and the women are throwing a fit, and y'all still ain't really telling them. They're feeling it. They're going through the motions, and they're living. Oh, Gen Z and Gen Z and millennial women, especially the youngest of millennial, they're livid. FD, you said it on T Noir's channel. They're checking off the boxes. Okay, got my career, got my baby Benz, my entry level luxury car, got my little condo or my apartment, right? Making okay money, maybe better than okay money. Okay, where's my man? FD, you sit it on T Noir's channel. You know what it is. How am I supposed to tell her that's patriarchy and maybe she should what decenter men? Yeah, that's it. Huh? They're not going to. What they're gonna do is throw a temper tantrum all around the goddamn black community. Huh? That's what they're going to do. They're gonna sneak this black man in real life and definitely online every chance they get. Huh? They're going to subscribe to Kim Foster, not because they care about anything she says educationally, not because they're necessarily waving the flag of leftism. No, because when she mocks and makes fun of black men. Huh? That's what they're going to do. They're going to follow women that sound like this.
Why are so many women settling? I mean, smart women, beautiful women, educated women settling for less than they deserve. Why are they wasting time or even giving the time of day to people who are not even going to meet their standards? Let me know in the comments.
Huh? Brother, it's not about college. It's not about university. It's not even about the black community. It's about status, classism, and the fact that they occupy a planet in a goddamn galaxy in a universe with white women. That's what it's about. It's black women's insatiable inferiority complex because they occupy the same goddamn universe as white women do. And black men just don't have it. We do not have the same inferiority complex because we occupy the same planet, galaxy, universe, solar system as white men. It's not the same. There's no one-to-one on this one. Huh? Continuing.
If you know me and you watch me, you know I'm not a manosphere red pill type of guy. Some of you really want to put me in that box very badly, and that's because, again, y'all low-key hate us. And so anytime a black man talks positively about black men, you take it as some type of, like, I need y'all to go to therapy and get offline. I'm just being real with y'all. But the reason why this...
When it's black men, y'all mock and make fun. When it's black women, y'all tell them to go seek therapy. Unfortunately, the female therapist is on the same thing, FD. I'm just saying. I'm never going to be able to find that. I didn't screenshot it. Or did I? I don't think I screenshot it. A black woman said in the comments, it was actually Kim Foster's comments, I think. Or was it Chrissy? It was either Kim Foster or Chrissy. Comments where a black woman said, yeah, I was talking to my therapist about how my husband, I get to lead on him like this and this and that. And my therapist said, oh, your husband can't be a black man. Female therapist, by the way. Huh? Oh, boy. I'm just saying, FD. Black men get chastised and made fun of and mocked. Black women, y'all hit them with the kid gloves. And by the way, it's not just okay, fine, you're a black man. You don't want to lean into that because then you really be looking like black manosphere. Cool. Black women hitting them with the kid gloves too. And black men ain't saying nothing as egregious as black women. We're not following them on the internet, mocking them and making fun of them. Huh? Chrissy done put out how many videos over the past month or so that I ain't cover? That the Black Manosphere ain't cover, and she sneak dissing and jabbing throughout the whole goddamn thing. It's just not the same, bro. I covered black women, single and childless black women have the least amount of wealth in America. We covered that. Mr. Z has mentioned it a zillion times. You know what Z says on that? Black women, you might want to get on Black Men's program. Or starve. Huh? That's what we say over here. It's not the same, bro. And telling them to go seek therapy, no, they need more than therapy, bro. Continuing.
To hide contempt and anger and hatred towards black men and concern trolling and saying, oh, I just want to.
At least he said it. Y'all heard it. They're speaking about college and all of this other stuff, and they're fake. They're concern trolling, but really they're mocking men. They're mocking black men, brother. I implore you to re-listen to that Kimberly Foster. I don't think you listened to it. I don't think you. There's no way you listen to Kim Foster speaking about that and put her in that nuanced take. Only. But I ain't gonna include her in this one. But there's no way you listen to Kim Foster and you put her in that quote unquote nuanced take. No way. There's no way you listen to it. You saw she covered it and you just threw her name in there. Ain't no way you listen to it. Because if that's nuanced, then what does antagonistic look like then? If you listen to it and you still I stand by it. She gave a nuanced take. If Kimberly Nicole Foster, y'all notice I'm saying her whole name nowadays, right? If Kimberly Nicole Foster, if that's what nuance look like, then what did antagonism look like? That's a real question. That was not a rhetorical question. That's a real question. Huh? So I'm glad you know that it's concern trolling. They don't really care. They're trolling. They're not concerned. They're trolling. Continuing.
Trolling and saying, oh, I just want to uplift and fix black men and confront the problems that black men present to the world. So you'll have people like Steve Harvey forcing a bunch of boys to cut their hair so they can become real men, not thinking about the traumatic.
That's way of including a black man instead of a black woman. Nice way.
You can just say, oh, I don't think black men should be degenerates or deadbeats or brokies or abusers or predators. And those are all things I think most of us would agree upon. But when you don't have a good understanding of black men, when you don't have any good relationship with black men around you, and you don't talk to or listen to black men when they talk about these issues, then you don't end up saying anything useful or meaningful. You end up at best concern trolling and at worst just trolling. The stuff that the world tends to push forward about black men is hard to be supportive of. I get it. But you also have to be critical about how these things end up in your face, because as soon as a black man acts a donkey in public or does do something dysfunctional, all the cameras and the microphones show up. For example, right now, y'all are turning this Aaron the plumber dude who got famous off the balloon pop, whatever, y'all are turning him into the next Kevin Samuels right before our eyes.
It's because he has the nerve to talk back, FD. You know how many of them sisters would secretly let Aaron smash? The problem is that he's talking back. Y'all gotta look, I don't care what Kim Foster say. Y'all gotta know that the black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate. And it's not the men telling the women to shut up. It's the women telling the men to shut up in the black community. And the problem they have with Aaron is that Aaron is talking back. Aaron is not a man of few words. Shout out to Real Talk with Yanni. You know, I like me a man of few words. These men talking too much. Yeah, that all of y'all think that. When you own, as I've said before, shout out to Compassion and Callous for clipping it. When you own that the black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate, everything else makes too much sense. It makes too much sense, but y'all refuse to accept it. Y'all been refusing to accept it since it was reported in the 60s. Huh? Since the Moynihan report, y'all been refusing to accept it. Huh? Continuing.
This is me shooting at everyone, other black men, black women, white people, LGBTQ people. So many people online constantly fall for this same trick. 6 months ago, some of y'all were convinced that black men were going to vote for Donald Trump, despite the fact that I and others have been telling y'all this was a myth for like 5 years at that point. Some of y'all are convinced that black men actually prefer white women because you keep seeing it on TV, not thinking about who controls TV. And even as people present you all with data, you want to reject the data. It's like you don't want to face the truth. And on this particular topic, we've known forever about the way that the deck is stacked against black men and boys as soon as they walk through the door. And it took that one clip of all the teachers staring at the black boy waiting for him to misbehave to go viral for some people to take it seriously that this was a thing.
You didn't mention that a black woman was. You said all the teachers. Did you mention that the black woman, black female teacher was sitting right there? And she looked also at that young black boy suspiciously? Did you see, FD, you see? I'm telling you, FD ain't slow. He made a conscious choice not to mention that because he knew somebody like Z was going to be like, yeah, you see, FD know what we talking about. FD, I'm still going to say, you know what we talking about. Huh? Uh-oh. Because didn't on that clip, they made mention of that? They made note of that. The black female teacher also was looking at that young black boy suspiciously. You made sure not to mention it just now. Why? Y'all have to accept that anti-blackness is taught to all of us, including black women. And how do they internalize it? They don't just look in the mirror, oh, I hate myself and I hate other black women. Oh, no. Huh? That's not how this works. Brother, it wasn't just, the teachers were looking, no. Yes, all of the teachers were looking at the black boy to see if he was going to do something, including the black woman teacher. Including the black woman teacher. We can't keep on hyper-focusing on the quote-unquote misbehavior of black men, which you're mentioning now. And then when it's black women, we're like, are we going to mention? Are we going to talk about it? I don't know. We're going to whisper about it over here in the corner. Because we don't want any reason for anybody to be sexist towards black women. So we won't mention when they misbehave. As if everybody didn't see what just happened. Huh? Continuing.
There are so many studies at this point talking about everything from fatherhood to sexual gratification to show that the world stays lying about black men. Yet, as soon as one of those same lies props back up, folks are quick to believe it. And here we are talking about black men not going to college when, if you know anything about this issue, this is true for all men right now. All men. And that's indicative of a much bigger issue and more complex problem. But the easiest to believe and the most familiar answer to this type of question is,
well, something must be uniquely wrong with black men in particular. There must be something specific about black men and black men only to explain this problem.
Nobody is saying that about white men. No one is saying,
I wonder what it is about white men that's caused them not to go to college.
Maybe it's the hip hop or jelly roll or whatever. That never happens. Like another big trending topic that's been all over the internet for years now is the loneliness epidemic and the suicide rate for men, specifically white men. And understand the suicide.
You know what? I think it's about time to read that. Where is that comment? Where is that comment? Where is that comment? Wait a minute. I think it was you who put it in the go. Wait a minute. There, I have it already highlighted. Look at Z not reading it even though it's already highlighted. And the comment is, it's a zero-sum game to them. That's why. For black women, it's a zero-sum game. And for the rest of society, the white peen reigns supreme. So they're not going to mention the misbehavior of white men because half of them women want to end up with a white man. That includes women of color, FD Signifier. That includes women of color. Of course, they're not going to mention the white man's misbehavior. Half those women will talk about white men and be deep throating white men. God damn. Huh? It's a zero-sum game to black women. So of course they're not going to mention white men's misbehavior and how many the loneliness epidemic and how many white men are deleting themselves. Huh? Because in their minds, black men are defective white men. So they don't really appreciate that black men form friendships and they just move about the world differently than white men. And so the loneliness epidemic is affecting everyone, but not exactly the same. And maybe black men's friendships are a bit more robust than white men's are. And maybe black men have friendships that might last a little bit longer than white men. Maybe, possibly. I don't have any information on this. But I'm saying that might be the case. But black women don't care. They don't care to research it. They don't care to know. Particularly the chronically online black women. They don't care. It, as Indigo said, it's a zero-sum game. And anytime there's a chance to mock and make fun of and belittle black men, they'll take it. So yeah, white men might be deleting themselves, and yes, the loneliness epidemic is affecting all of us, right? That includes the women. But there's not too many articles about that one now, are there? So continuing.
For all men has went up in the last 20 years, but nobody's saying that this is specifically a thing that white men are experiencing, even though the rate for white men suicide is the main one driving that increase for all men. Do we never talk about white people the same way we talk about black people? Yes, this is going to come up later in the Nebula read. But as soon as some think piece drops that tries to uniquely isolate black men as some specific example of a problem, some of you nod and say,
yeah, niggas do be dropping out of school.
Which is not true, by the way. Like, in the last couple of years, the graduation rate for high school boys has actually risen. Did y'all know that? Of course you didn't. Y'all never know that shit. Well, I ain't gonna front. I didn't know that either. But I expected the shit, because I know better. It's a well understood thing that anything bad or negative happening in the greater population of Americans is going to be worse with black people, black men and women, and gay people, trans, etc. If you're black, that is a net negative on any situation that might be happening with everyone else. That's just how racism works. So all men and boys are feeling the effects of late capitalism and social isolation and a massive shift in cultural and gender dynamics that has thrown them off. Many of these men and boys feel isolated by the current educational environment. And
see, you mentioned how this thing has thrown us off. That includes the way the women see it, FD. Patriarchy by feminist specifications. The women want their empowerment. They want their autonomy. They want their quote-unquote liberation. But in their intimate personal lives with the man, they want that man to subsidize all of it, if not pay for it all outright. And that's one of the dynamics that men just can't get with. Black, white, Latino, Asian, or otherwise. The women really, I've said it, and I think people think I'm joking. I'm not joking. The women want you to pay for them to give you the middle finger. You heard right. Say it again, Z slow. The women want you to pay for them to give men the middle finger. Say it one more again, Z, the third time. Women want men to pay for women to give men the middle finger. They want you to subsidize them giving you the middle finger. That's one of the dynamics that the men just can't get with. And y'all heard Z say that. For those of you who are listening, whether it's Fallen, whether it's any of the brothers from Waving the Red Flag, whether it's FD, y'all heard Z say that, and y'all, no, Z, you doing too much. You exaggerating. You being hyperbolic. No, I'm not. Huh? The ideal man, FD, is kind of a brother like you. Kind of foreign man in a foreign land. Consciously, y'all jab at black men, you mock black men, you make fun of black men, you hit black women with kid gloves, if even. Huh? You minimize black women's misbehavior. Huh? You're highly academically accomplished. You married to a black woman in nuclear family, have your children in nuclear family. Right? In other words, Don't think I'm saying you're validating a black woman. Ooh, no. Ooh, Z, say it the right way. For black women, no, you've been validated by black women. It's not about you, FD, just like it wasn't about Barack Obama. Nope, nope, nope. It's about your wife, just like it was about Michelle Obama. Validating you. Notice more and more black women are straight up saying, no, if that child's mixed, that child's only black through the mom, not through the black dad. Ooh, goddamn. Huh? So no, brother. What the men can't get with are the women who truly want, say it again, Z, patriarchy by feminist specifications. That's the new dynamic. That is the new dynamic. Continuing.
Environment and how social structures have changed what education is actually worth. And that is much bigger than issues of racial identity. I got to pull out some bell hooks again, which I got to just say, I think some of y'all read like All About Love and didn't read shit else. Like Bell Hooks has written so much on men and masculinity, and I really like get in there. Like Bell Hooks shouldn't be the final voice on understanding man or black man and patriarchy, etc. But I know like she's a very good entry point. Can y'all please enter? More than any group of men in this nation, black males have realistically understood wage slavery. They have been far less likely than other groups of men to believe that employment will lead to self-esteem and self-respect. Black men are not counted among those groups of male workers Susan Fawlty called attention to in Stiff, The Betrayal of the American Man, when she describes men coming to terms in the 80s and 90s for the first time with the fact that patriarchal masculinity was not being affirmed in the arena of work. Fawlty laments that there was something almost absurd about these men struggling week after week to recognize themselves as dominators when they were so clearly dominated. These men.
But that she's not the only one. Bell Hooks is not the only one. Wasn't it Baldwin that said black men don't have a midlife crisis because we never thought, and I'm paraphrasing obviously, because we never thought we was promised this American dream in the first place? Wasn't it Baldwin that said something along those lines? Bell Hooks not the only one that's expressed this, and she's not the first. But let black women tell it. Black men are just a bizarro, broken, defective white man that you don't even get the status from. You ain't getting the pluses of patriarchy. You don't get the status. You don't get the money. Let black women tell it. But Bell Hooks is not the only one that said or that expressed some type of sentiment like this. And you just said that, and the masses of black women, whoever listened to you, heard that, and they still ain't hear you. They heard. Notice what Z said. They heard that, and they still ain't hear you. Huh? Because in their mind is FD's just trying to make excuses for these black men so that sisters like me could have to settle for them. As I said earlier, in their mind, they didn't sign up for college and university so they could be sitting on $60,000 of student loan debt for them to marry a black man that don't have any college student loan debt and isn't going to pay for her college student loan debt. They didn't sign up for $60,000 in student loan debt to settle for a black man with no college and university graduate degrees. No, FD. So in their mind, you just making excuses. They don't care what Bell Hooks said, not at least not in this respect. And you know it. Continuing.
These men, almost all white that Fawlty describes, are experiencing the same disillusionment with the myth of work as access to patriarchal manhood that most black men have lived with from slavery to the present day. Fawlty concludes her massive study by suggesting that disenfranchised male workers, again she focuses almost exclusively on white male workers, may be forced by circumstance to venture from the conventional route in order to find a better way forward to a meaningful manhood. Had she seriously focused on black males as workers, Fawlty would have found examples of unemployed men, of workers paid low wages for a lifetime of labor, who have done just that, created meaningful alternatives. This is getting at the core issue here, which is capitalism and how it conflicts with the perceived value of college for all men. The American myth tells you that if you work hard and you have talent, that's all you need. But as we now have a bunch of literal billionaires running our country, it's becoming more and more obvious that the real key to success and a good life is to be born rich and white. And black men are very unlikely to be born rich and even less likely to be born white. So for generations, black men have looked at alternative ways to access money and success and affirm their manhood. Or as one of the greatest philosophers on black masculinity once said, you either sling the crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. Now I don't
FD, let's go with that. If black men are looking for alternative ways, I said this before. Who are the true colonizing agents of the Black community? If Black men understand that none of these things will truly affirm his manhood, and we're moving about these things differently, and we're not going to the extremes where we're cutting off our hair, dyeing our eyebrows all type of weirdo colors, um, um, I don't know, wearing skirts and all different, because we're men, but we realize we'll never be white men. And so if Black men appreciate that, and where we appreciate that in ways that aren't necessarily destructive to the Black community, once again, who are the true colonizing agents? Who's the one truly throwing a temper tantrum because they don't get to be the white version of their sex? Who is the one, FD? To all the Black women under the sound of my voice, who's the one throwing the temper tantrum because they can't be the white version of their sex? I think the question answers itself. Continuing.
Jump shot. Now, I don't want it to be confused that Black excellence types for men don't exist. If there's one thing that's understudied, in my opinion, it's the challenges of the Black prodigal sons among us. Like, I'm sure if you think about it, you know that one Black boy that was in your high school or in your cohort or in your college maybe that everyone was sure was going to make it. And so they often got a ton of resources thrown behind them and a ton of opportunity to try to be successful. And 7 out of 10 times that one Black boy does. But those other 3 of the 10, they usually have like a mental breakdown or turn into a malignant narcissist or end up getting murdered or something. But you often get confused because when we see these images of like mentoring programs for Black boys and you see that there's so much resources being thrown behind this select group of Black boys, you make it seem like that's the entirety of how Black boys are treated. But that's almost always isolated to help a specific type of boy who has everything he needs to be successful early on. He's scouted from jump to be that guy. It's one of the more insidious forms of patriarchy that makes it happen as Black people as a whole like want to see Black men.
Well, you almost think that patriarchy is like the only word in their vocabulary. They damn near sound like Pokemon's patriarchy, 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 patriarchy. Meanwhile, the women want a good scoop of patriarchy. They just want it, once again, patriarchy by feminist specifications. Right? Oh, you gotta love it. Huh? Secondly, so it's really the top 20 and 25%, as Mr. Z said, of folks who are living this life. And that includes someone in the Black community. And so Black women are throwing a temper tantrum that they don't get to be with the elite white man, Black man, Latino, indigenous, right, Asian. Y'all are gonna have to tell women the truth. Yeah, capitalism plus feminism, neoliberal capitalism plus feminism means that the top 20 and 25% of folks get married and potentially stay married. All the rest of you might get married, but you'll be in divorce within 5 to 8 years. 5 years if you're Black, 8 years if you're not Black. Huh? And for those of you who's dipping under the 50% mark, you don't even get marriage. You might have a child out of wedlock. You might have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, baby mama, baby daddy stuff. Huh? If y'all gonna tell the women the truth, tell them the women the truth all the way. Huh? So if the top third of Black boys or the ones that show potential are the ones where all the resources are gathered and given to them, I don't even know how much I agree with that framing, but fine. If that's the case, then cool. And let the women know what the fallout of that is for them. Huh? This speaks to Dr. Richard Reed's Dream Hoarders and how it's the top 20% that's not just hoarding all the money and resources, but the status, the dreams, the aspirations, everything. Huh? Continuing.
That desire to see black men thrive is reserved for a certain type of black men, and the rest of them are YNs that need to hit the trap or the track. When I talk about this, I always like to come back to people like George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery and the countless other black men murdered by the state, who in death they become martyrs. They're treated with a lot of reverence and respect. But in life, they would have been called dusties and good for nothings. They're the around-the-way black men that make up the fabric of many black communities. They aren't black excellence. They're just black. And without the natural talent and the mixed community backing, they don't see going to college as the same type of opportunity that it might be for me or hopefully my sons in the future. So to them, why not reject student loan debt in a hostile educational environment and take a shot at music or the streets? I'm glossing over a ton of things here. There's other details of this I'm sure I've got.
Hostile environment. Who's helping to create the hostile environment, FD? Who's helping to create the hostile environment? See, you said it like that, and Kim Foster framed it differently. The men ain't going to college because they think it's a more feminized environment. It is. They're saying education is feminine, and not necessarily. But the education space has become more feminist. Huh? So once again, FD, you said hostile environment. Who's helping to make it hostile? And if we're speaking about HBCUs, once again, that are, what, 70% black women, 65%, 70% black women, young black women? Once again, who's making that environment hostile, particularly on HBCU campuses? Just saying. Huh? Continuing.
I'm glossing over a ton of things here. There's other details of this I'm sure I've gotten at in other videos. But what I want y'all to understand is that if more boys are graduating high school, we have to recognize that they're simply just looking at college, at student loan debt, at wage slavery, and at a hostile work and education environment as a bad decision. They'd rather take the long shot at alternative venues for success, which, by the way, are highly marketed to them in our media. And they just say, hey, if I don't make it as a rapper, if I don't make it as a trapper, if I don't make it as a basketball player, then, you know, maybe I'll make it in AutoZone. That's another thing. Like, the way this is presented, or at least the way people talk about it, they talk about it as if a black man doesn't go to college, he's automatically going to end up dead or in jail. And, like, the vast majority of black men are just in the workforce. This is niggas with jobs, niggas working at factories, niggas that are truck drivers. Like, instead of boycotting Target, y'all know how much could be done by organizing these thousands of black male truck drivers that are bringing goods to Atlanta alone. These dudes are all.
Yeah, they're just working jobs. FD, that's not good enough. Black women, see, they don't got the ovaries to say it. They're looking for you to save them financially. They just don't want to give you the power by saying, I'm looking for you to save me financially. Huh? What do you think this is about?
Top tier. Your dick is not equal to my fucking pussy. Point blank.
His dick ain't equal to your fucking bills neither.
God damn. Look, at the end of the day, I ain't
Them bills got your name on it. They don't have his dick name on it.
At the end of the day, I ain't fucking no broke ass nigga. Do what you want with your pussy.
Yeah, you don't have to fuck
no broke ass nigga. What do you think that's about?
Look, no, you can fuck a nigga that ain't broke. That's not a problem. But just because he ain't paying your bills, don't mean he fucking broke. That mean it ain't his goddamn responsibility. Your bills got your name on it. It don't have his dick name on it.
Okay, you're right. I land my plane.
You see how that mouth tighten up right there? That's when that.
Huh? I'm glad I kept that part of when the brother said, you see how that mouth tighten up? Exactly. There's a pun in there. We're going to leave that one alone. Brother, they don't care nothing about any of that. They're looking to be subsidized, if not paid for outright. They just can't tell you that because we know that that means you got the power in your hands. Huh? It's not good enough. What the lady is saying, yeah, he might work a cool job and he might make a couple dollars more than I do. Right now, on average, what is $5,000 more than black men earn $5,000 more than black women on average, give or take? They're telling you it's not enough. Especially if she have a college degree and she's sitting on 20 some odd, 30 some odd, 40 some odd, 50 some odd, 60 some odd $1,000 in student loan debt. We're not even going to go all the way up to that 150 and 2, 3, 4, 500. Huh? the women are saying it's not good enough. And she's saying, I have the status over you because I'm college educated and you're not. Y'all just, to put it simply, y'all just did not raise black women who are not antagonistic to black men. Y'all did not raise black women to be wives. Y'all did not raise them to even be girlfriends. Y'all didn't raise them to be quote unquote partners. Y'all didn't even raise them to be this quote unquote partner word that they keep on screaming. Kim Foster, y'all are not even partners. It would have been different if y'all were actually raised to be partners. Y'all are not. Y'all are petulant children with 4-year degrees behind y'all, if even. Huh? If even. FD, what they're saying is the regular job, the brother doing the regular 9 to 5, it's not good enough. Here you go.
If you thought marrying for money was like an issue, wait till we look at the next few years, baby. That student loan, they real serious, ain't they? They haven't been saying they're going to report it to the credit bureaus, but now they are. And now people's payments are going way up. I just submitted my forbearance again. Hopefully they say yes, because where's the money going to come from? And it's wild that they are literally about to start garnishing people's checks. Like, that's crazy. And you still expect me to talk to you without you sending me money first? Have you seen the price of eggs? Have you seen the price of groceries? Exactly, Salem, tell him. He's telling me to hurry up with his food, but hold on. You know, people used to literally look at me like I was crazy when I said that, like, love will never be enough for me. You are going to have money as well. Like, you need to fit all of my criteria and have enough money for savings and retirement and disposable income. Like, to be honest with you, I don't see the point of marriage if you're not making my life any better.
Message
to me, because everything you can get in a marriage, you can get outside of it. Prove me wrong. What can you not get inside of a marriage you can't get outside of marriage? Exactly. And technically true, I can still get money outside of marriage, but that's just that's my main big one that I will never, ever compromise on. People been like, Destiny, no, you should stop. You're not gonna find anyone. Okay, well, great. Then I guess I don't ever find nobody, and I will be by myself. And I have to force now my two babies to make money for me.
There go that temper tantrum. Mm-hmm.
That might be cute. Yeah, but no. And you think I'm ever gonna change my preferences now? They're literally at my door asking for these bills that I don't have. You think I'm gonna date you and you make less than me? Goodbye. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Swaggy begging. Swaggy begging.
No, you got the wrong one. Wrong one. Try again.
Huh? FD, she's saying she ain't doing it, and we're okay with stepping over her goddamn starving ass body. See, if this young lady becomes homeless and you watching brothers walk by, I guarantee you the sister will be like, why aren't y'all helping her? This is her. That's why. Huh? Swaggy begging, throwing her little temper tantrum. Huh? Telling you what she ain't gonna do, what she not gonna settle for. She telling you the student, they calling the student loan, calling her right now. She said, I ain't going. She's telling you she's not settling for you while student loans is knocking on her door right now. Huh? Continuing.
To Atlanta alone, these dudes are all around us. It's like Fight Club. You don't pay attention to them until they do something good or bad. And I might be the first person you've heard say if the Target boycott was to go anywhere, they really need to get the truckers involved. But I only got that because I was talking to my homie John Lewis on my side podcast. And John Lewis, in between making content for YouTube, drives a truck. And that brings me to the last thing I really want to emphasize the most out of this story. The real reason why this type of topic goes off in social media is, again, because it gives everyone a free pass to talk about black men without actually talking to black men. Here's a podcast on why black men don't go to college, brought to you by 2 white women, a bunch of other niggas that went to college and got advanced.
And no, you don't get to get away with that. You don't get to get away with that. Nope. You don't get to get away with that, FD. Sorry, brother. Nope. No. Did that happen? Yes, it did. What also happened is, here's why black men aren't attending college, brought to you by bitter ass, angry, resentful black women. Brought to you by black women that weren't chose back in the day. Brought to you by black women that might be cute and weren't chose, but they still got to pay fealty to the gynocracy, so they gonna chastise black men even though they chose and they happy. It wasn't just white weirdo feminists and black men who get a pat on the head from, well, women writ large when they defecate on other black men. That's not just what was going on. No, FD, nah, brother, you don't get to get away with that. Nope, nope, nope. Brought to you by black women who love mocking black men, like Kimberly Nicole Foster. Huh? And talking about framing, thank you for the super chat, Better You. And Better You says, I disagree heavily with his framing. Often these guys are pushed into white programs and groups for their advancement. At best, black money, white structures. Huh? I think his framing was off on this. Once again, I appreciate that this is about as far as FD could go before they start getting on him, before the women start getting on him in the comments. Because he told you he got a lot of non-black subscribers now, even though this was on his second channel. He has a lot of non-black subscribers now, not even just non-black men, which would be black women. No, he got a lot of non-black subscribers now. I think it might have tipped over. Now it's a majority non-black men. Well, that was already majority non-black men, but now it's majority non-black folks. So this is about as far as he could go before the white LGBTQ and whoever the hell start pulling his coattails. Like, all right, Negro, you looking like you're a little too sympathetic towards straight black men, right? So yeah, his framing, yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Southern Purchase, I did not forget about your, third super chat. I did not forget about you. There we go. Continue. There we go.
Right? Not anybody in the actual population that you're talking about. And let's be real, if that was the case, a lot of people who are watching this video or would make a type of video like this wouldn't even be able to have a meaningful conversation with some of these brothers if they tried. Because y'all don't even speak the same language a lot of times. And that's like really low key the goal for a lot of us black excellences. The goal of black excellence is to separate yourself from these other Negroes. This is a historic problem in the black community that I'll talk about in other videos. But
Whoa, FD brother, I don't know if you've been listening to Z, but you sounded like Z when Z says y'all are the majority of black, I say black women, but the majority of black people's class enemy. It sounded like you're kind of saying that. It sounded like you calling these other Negroes Negro whisperers. Huh? Uh-oh. I can't tell you what it is, FD. I can't tell you exactly what you're saying, but I could tell you what it sounds like, at least to Z's ears. I'll include you in there sometimes too, but anyway, it sounds like you calling out the other Negro whisperers for being Negro whisperers. Oh. Ugh. Huh? Are you calling out these folks for being the masses of black people's class enemy, but they got a good position explaining away black people to white folks? Uh-oh. I ain't saying that's what it is. I'm saying that's what it sounds like you're saying. Huh? That's actually a really good comment. And Saint Cyr says, the rhetoric from the underbelly always trickles up to the top, Z. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. As I've said, I don't expect them to ever give us credit. I definitely don't expect them to ever give Z credit. Z just hit 3,000 subscribers yesterday, practically. Right? So, yeah. But how could, like, this flat blackness, how did we expect this to turn out? Particularly concerning, like, black women. Like, this flat... Kim Foster could talk the way she wants, all she wants. She's with the man now They might get married eventually. Kim Foster, I said it before, within 5 years, we could be talking about a whole different, not her rhetoric might be the same, but married with children, Kim Foster. Still talking that crap, mainly to single, possibly childless black women. Now, will she hide her marriage like Paris Milan? Probably not. Right? I keep saying it. These people are the masses of black women's class enemy. I don't care how they quote unquote advocate. Chrissy, everyone from Chrissy to Paris Milan to Kim Foster to Shira Seven, they are the masses of black women's class enemy. Now, maybe not so much class enemy, sovereign woman may not be so much, right? But Mahogany Pink and them, oh yeah, those are black women's class enemy. When you factor in whatever money they earn more than the average black woman, and especially if they're professional or if they're, any type of professional managerial class in their real life, oh yeah, you better believe it. And as I've said before, too bad the average black women, particularly those of them that are chronically online, don't see it because they're more interested in the rhetoric of punching down on black men than seeing Chrissy as who she is, your class enemy who's low-key jabbing at you too, and not even low-key. Huh? Same thing with Kimberly Nicole Foster. Kimberly Nicole Foster is doing if y'all haven't noticed it, any black woman who's listening to me, Kimberly Nicole Foster is doing the whole, that's nice for you, but I couldn't do it. She been doing that, particularly about blue-collar black men. She been doing that. She's your class enemy, but so many of y'all would rather listen to her low-key jabbing at you sometimes because you're getting off on her mocking and making fun of and insulting black men. Okay, then. Huh? Continuing.
When they directly feel that we don't like or respect or appreciate them being there. It becomes this frustrating cycle as we make think pieces on why the thing we're actively participating in is happening. With that in mind, shout out to people like my boy John or the Potty Mouth crew with Dom and 4, or to a lesser extent, Lil Bill, a former, child of the hood that did actually make it to college. And I guarantee you, they've probably made content about this topic before. Have y'all watched these videos? All right?
As much as we disagree with Lil Bill over here, Lil Bill is essentially a regular black man with a college degree. It's not good enough, FD. It's not. Continuing. Of course they're not going to listen to Lil Bill. He ain't paid fealty good enough. As much as we disagree with Lil Bill over here, he's not paying fealty to the godnocracy enough. Not good enough. They ain't going to listen to Lil Bill. Continuing.
Watch these videos. All right. All snark aside, I'm grateful that it's not just me saying this. There has been a lot of pushback about this, and I want to acknowledge that and say thank you to other people who are finally coming across to this reality about black men. But it's obviously we still have a lot more work to do to make it so these things just don't trend the way they do whenever they come up again. As I alluded to earlier, I am practicing what I preach when it comes to trying to.
Okay, so that's the end of that, you guys. That's the end of that. Z was able to review a 16 and some odd minute long video in like less than 2 hours. Oh, Z, well, look, you damn, we were concise. Oh man, right? I didn't even know it was possible. We advancing every day, everybody. We advancing every day. And Vince's, they raised them to break pockets. Hashtag break yourself, Negro. Right? And whenever you say that, like I think of what's his name when he was on Dave Chappelle's show? God damn, it's right there. Why is his name right there? Wayne Brady. God damn, I almost lost it. When Wayne Brady was on Dave Chappelle, which is like one of my favorite episodes of the Chappelle show. Oh man. What he said, Riverside? Riverside, brace yourself. Yeah. Exactly. We're supposed to break ourselves for them. Huh? I keep saying FD, they don't want egalitarian. Kim Foster could keep on using that word as much as she wants. No, the men don't want egalitarian. The women are clearly saying they don't want egalitarian. And the men's response, as you heard Z say, is fine, we don't want egalitarian either because you don't mean it. It's not about, oh, you're not going to do the chores at home and we got to do the chores and we got to be the one taking care of the kids more. It don't have anything to do with any of that. It's the money and the status. Classism, as Demetrius said earlier. That's what all of this college talk was about. Yes, it was another chance for black women to jab at black men. Absolutely. You better believe it. But it's also the women said, I did not, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be $60,000 in student loan debt and I don't get a guaranteed man that earns more than me? Oh, absolutely not. Huh? So as Vince said, yes, hashtag break yourself. Huh? Better you see, he got 2 closings in him. Hysterical. Huh? Oh crap, it's Wayne Brady, son. You heard me? Hey, that was too funny. And the fact that he was like hanging onto the gate. Oh, that was hysterical. Oh, you imagine being unalive and you just, well, actually, I was about to say something. I was like, yeah, that happened and it's not funny. Yeah, yeah. See, when you have a historical knowledge, you catch yourself before you even get the joke out. Y'all already know what word I was gonna say. Can't say it no more. Right? But yeah. So this is about as good as we get, everyone. This is Cornbread Tube. And this is about what Foreign said on waving the red flag, and what FD said on his own channel. This is about as good as it gets. This is about as far as Cornbread Tube is willing to go. This is about it, right? Oh man, right. And so let me read Southern Purchase's comment here, and he said, clarity, people age 30 right now hold 200,000. Okay, high school grads of 2025 hold 150,000. Newborn babies in 2025 hold 85,000. Share of debt made from 2021 to 2024. If the feds print more money, it will be Great Depression times 3. Oh man. And thank you for that, Southern Purchase. Thank you for that. Thank you for the clarity. Wow. That's funny. And Vince's corny bread tube. And let's get back to Southern Purchase Super Chat, buddy. Wow, that's funny. It's kind of corny too, but it's funny. Right? Oh man. And wow. So yeah, I mean, trillions, what are we, 30 some odd trillion? I know it's over 30. It's like what, 38, 35, 36 trillion dollars in debt, the US, right? Something along those lines. Last time I checked. Right? Starman said cornball tube. Hysterical. So wow, Southern Purchase. And you found this out with your research? Ah, that's yeah. And so austerity it is. Austerity. Shout out to all of us that knew the word austerity before it hit America. We knew it when the Europeans were going through it. Huh? Oh man. So on that note, y'all, I ain't gonna give y'all 2 hours tonight. We ain't going 2 hours. And I can't let better you be right. I can't let them be right. So this is exit number 1. This is exit number 1. So on that note, y'all, we'll pause right there. Right. Let me read. Why did I read the comment? See. Ugh. I looked at the comment.
And look, we gotta read it. We gotta read it. God damn it, y'all making better. You right. I think this is a concerted effort. I think y'all conspiring against me. And Leon says, Z, if you do the math, LOL, it's closer to 115 trillion. So it's not 38, 36, whatever the hell trillion, 40, under $40 trillion. Ah, trust and quick, bring up car talk. That'll probably get me almost every time. That might get me almost every time if it's not an emergency, right? That might. Better you, but I ain't officially start the second one yet for there to be a third one. I ain't officially start the second one. See, you said he got at least 3 of them. I mean, 2 of them. You said at least 2. I ain't really start 2 yet for there to be that. So yeah, you we're on the line right now. We're on the line, right? So what I'm gonna do is not even look at the comments and make the exit. That's what we're gonna do. That way I could maybe get better you on a technicality, right? I'm not even gonna look at the look, Leon's still putting comments down. I'm not even gonna do it. Nope. I'm not even gonna do it. We gonna keep on going. Leon, we'll continue this conversation next stream, right? So on that note, y'all, truly, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. For the love of God, go touch some grass. Don't let these weirdo women be right. Yeah, and we don't hate college. We just might not go because of the money. All right, y'all. And Mr. Z out. Look, we ain't gonna read them comments. Here we go. Look, Mr. Z out.